Okay, we're just going to have a look at the first part of the Wing Chun form, Siu Lim Tao. In the grading system, it gets broken into 3 sections, parts 1, 2 and 3. To start with, section 1, the shapes that you start to use, your Tan, Wu Sao, Fook Sao, okay? Low double gans, high tans, okay? Those techniques teaching you the fundamentals of the Wing Chun system. Your stopping points from the side as we go through the form. I'll stop at the fist and the thumb, okay? My hand ends up chin height. Elbow is not out and it's not too far in. I don't want to be using too much of my shoulders to bend around. So if you're muscular, big lats, for example, someone doing their Siu Nim Tao, the elbow can't be in as much as mine, okay? If you're not flexible around your back and you find the struggle eventually over time, you'll be able to bring these in. If you're just starting out, don't be too stressed out. Get your wrist on center, okay? The elbow will follow. So just going forwards as we go through the techniques. Important things, the triangles, stopping points, center line, okay? That's the main one. Being able to do this at a nice steady pace. Okay, so as we go through the form, I'll talk through it, then we can do it, or grab another video to show you just doing that, just for repetition, okay? So once more, good basic stance. As you know, feet together, parallel, arms back, bend your knees, slide your toes, slide your heels, and sink. Mark a low center, left hand on top, center line, rotate up, double tan, pull back. Left punch, keeping the right hand back. Center line, relax, relax, relax. Drive, open. Hun Sao round circle, come back. Same with the right, relaxed. Drive, open. Round with the Hun Sao back. Left hand, point the fingers, tuck in the thumb, drop the elbow slightly. Get your wrist onto center line. Forwards to the stopping point of the fist and the thumb. As you're starting out, double check that. Fist and the thumb, back. Hun Sao round. As you do the Hun Sao, keep your wrist on center. The elbow will drift off slightly, and you pull back. When you're pulling back now, rotation point is at the shoulder, so the hand will get lower as you pull back. You come back to a fist distance. From here, relax the wrist, get it onto center line and push forwards. Relax into your stance. Again, don't overextend the shoulder out. Stopping point. Rotate round, elbow drifts out, wrist on center, pull back. Again, back to fist distance this time. Relax, Fook Sao forwards, keep that wrist on the center, check your stopping point, rotate round, back, once more. Forwards, with your Fook Sao, check your stopping point, rotate round, elbow drifts out slightly, pull back, keeping that wrist on the center line as you pull back. From here, the hand relaxes slightly, drive to your shoulder and not past, back onto center, slight twist of the wrist, drive forwards to extension, don't extend the shoulder, round, Hun Sao, back. Repeat exactly the same with the right. Point fingers, tuck in the thumb, drop the elbow, get your wrist onto center line. Stay sank. Now sunk into your stance, stopping point. Rotate round, elbow drifts out, pull back. Rotation point is the shoulder, maintaining this angle between your arms, pull back. Hand will get lower because you're rotating at the shoulder, back to a stopping point of a fist. Forwards with Fook Sao, get that wrist onto center, keep your shoulders square, hips square. Forwards to stopping point. Rotate round, pull back. Don't let this angle decrease, just pull back. Forwards once more. Rotate round, elbow comes out, thumb is tucked in, pull back. stopping point, forwards, stopping point, fist and the thumb, rotate round, elbows out, pull back. From here, relax, drive to your shoulder, back, centre, open, rotate round, and back. From there, you can just come out of your basic stance. Things to look for there, okay? When going through the form, being relaxed, switched off here. So your basic stance is opened, just relax. This is doing its work. You'll start to feel tension, your legs may start to shake. That's fine, you're focused on what you're doing up here, but also giving the lower half a workout as well, okay? We'll go through again, this time just to go through each bit really. Marking a low centre, make sure your hands are lined up. Don't have one lower than the other, okay? This should be on your centre line. As I go up, again, my hand should be in line. I should be able to see through the centre, and I'm pulling back, okay? My left punch is driving out. Don't extend my shoulder, like in the basic punch and the turning punch and the chain punches. Exactly the same, left and right. My tansei goes forwards. Stopping point, wrist stays on the centre as I rotate round. It comes back, here. From this point, okay, I've done my first tan, rotated round in my wusao, okay? I'm maintaining this angle now. So I've gone through to my tan, wusao. I'm maintaining this angle as I pull back. So from the side, a common mistake is that people collapse this towards their chest. Rotate at the shoulder so that your hand lowers, okay? To demonstrate that, if I keep this angle here and use my shoulder point as the pivot point, okay? Yes, my hand's going to get lower because I'm rotating here, okay? So I'm going to rotate there and maintain this angle between my bicep and my forearm. So I'm not collapsing it this way. I'm rotating here. Okay, exactly the same from a tan, this angle. Fook sound. Same as I come round again. So just maintaining a relaxed posture, nice angles, rotation point is the shoulder. I'm not pulling back with my bicep. Okay, I'll go through the form once more, just without speaking, so you can see. So if you're practicing to get the sequence right, you can just do that bit, okay? So good basic stance. Okay, so get better at this and go through the form, know the sequence. Just try to do this slower and slower and slower. When I was being taught this, we would aim to try and do the first section of the one side for 10 minutes. Then on the right hand side for 10 minutes, so 20 minutes in total. So imagine it going at that speed once you've done your opening sequence here. Okay, and you've done your punches, and you've done your punches. Okay, from here, if I was doing this, you can time yourself if you want to. I'd open, drive, and I'd be kind of moving at this speed. Okay? It becomes a mental focus, and I'm focused on my elbow moving forwards rather than my wrist. I'm just thinking of my elbow going forwards, moving forwards. Even when I get to rotate and pull back, even though my hand is being pulled backwards because of the rotation of my shoulder, I'm still thinking of my elbow energy forwards. Okay, so as you're doing this, think forwards. Over time, build it up, try and do it slower and slower and slower. Always focus on your stopping points. Eventually your stopping points become natural. I can drive a technique forwards, do something and my stopping points are correct. Okay, so the more you practice this foundation course that you're doing is the concrete under this floor that you don't see that keeps the building up. Okay, without a good foundation, without a solid foundation, everything will fall apart. So the more you practice your basic stance, in your Siu Nim Tao, especially section 1, techniques, Tan Sao, your Hun Sao, Wu Sao, Fook Sao. Okay, and then you start to do some of your palm strikes and pack Saos. Keep that in mind as you go through the form. Don't over-exert yourself to start with, but as a goal, try to be able to do your Siu Lim Tao, section 1, which we've just been through, for 20 minutes. That's 10 minutes each side. But get it correct first, get the sequence right, go through this video, look at the basic stance. Okay, make sure your centerline is covered, you're not across, you're not off, hands are up and down. Same when you're going up here, you're not off your center, you're pulling back, you're driving down your center. Again, you're punching to chin, mouth height. When you're rotating, don't use much of the elbow, think focus on your wrist, okay? Both sides. When you're going forwards, relax the shoulders, sink the elbow, come forwards. Check your stopping points. When rotating, again, just think of the wrist until you get to a point where you can't anymore. The elbow has to drift out. Always keep your wrist on center. Okay? Wing Chun is very centerline focused as regards to attack and defend. I need to know that my centerline's covered from my wrist, not my hand. Okay? So when we're doing this, a mistake a lot of people do is get their hand on center, okay, and the wrist is off, which puts everything else off. So make sure that your wrist is on your center line. If you can practice this in front of a mirror, that's ideal. You can even mark or get a bit of tape down the mirror, and you can see your center lines. Okay, both sides. If you've got any questions on this, obviously drop me a message, or if you're part of the school and you come in, just grab me, take one side, and we'll go through this in more detail. But your Siu Lim Tao, the little idea, it's about focus, stopping points, and being able to relax the bottom half and the top half as you go through your form, learning your techniques that will come into play as you progress. And most importantly, stopping points. When we start to do things like Tanda, that comes into play. Your Pak Sao and your Wu Saos, okay, come into play. Your Ganda, okay, stopping points. So your stopping points are important to learn and to have them so they just become natural. Any questions? Just get in touch and I'll see you soon.